Hey everyone, what does Shantae have in common with a billy goat? I'll give you a few seconds. Give up? They both suck at geography. Here's what happened in the last video, in case you didn't want to listen to me yelling at it, and I was yelling at it. Oh my god. The game told me to go east, and I went east. East is this direction. I walked all the way east, y'all. I went all the way to Watertown, all the way past Watertown, all the way through a swamp, and another forest, and the graveyard, and everywhere. And I got blocked. Come to find out, I needed to go west is where my new dungeon is. Oh, come on. Down, up, left, right. So I went west. Here's how the world map of Shantae works. It wraps around. If you go all the way to the west, you'll end up in the easternmost area, which is Pointy Mountain. Now that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually kind of cool that once you have all the power-ups and everything, you'll be able to traverse the entire game in either direction you want to go. That's actually pretty user-friendly. The problem is the NPC I talked to, you know what? The NPC I talked to told me to go east. There's an NPC in each town. A Mimic is back here in Skulltown. Let's see what Mimic says about this situation. Maybe Sky is just stupid. Maybe Sky just has problems in her dumb head. I mean, she hangs out with birds. Maybe she's a bird brain. Oh, burn! Totally burn Sky. Let's see what Mimic says. If Mimic says go west, I will forgive the game, because then it's my stupid fault for only talking to one stupid NPC. Pointy, that's the furthest spot on the map. You could get there by going east or west, but I'd try east first. Westerly. I went west. East was much too steep. East was the wall that I couldn't get up. Oh my goodness. I'm going to talk to every NPC that I can. When I get to Watertown, I'm going to talk to Bolo and see if he says east or west. Because Sky and Mimic are idiots. They're just dumb. Don't know east from west. Ugh. Now, I actually played an adventure game, a Myst clone. It's called Rem. Ooh, Rem is a great game. That would make a good LP. Anyway, Rem has a couple sequels, and in Rem 2 and Rem 3, you have a compass on your screen. And at any given time, it looks as though east and west are flipped on your compass. It's actually not. It's just because the developer chose to use the compass in a strange way. Rather than always point to the... rather than have the compass always pointing north, upward, what it does is it points your current direction upward. And the result is when you're facing east, it looks on the compass like you're facing west, and vice versa. Which is technically correct, but it is very disorienting when you're playing the game. It's just something you have to keep in mind when playing Rem. I just kept having to, in my head, flip east and west. Shantae doesn't have that excuse. Shantae doesn't have a compass. It's not an adventure game. It's a platformer game. There are puzzles in it, but maybe that's WayForward's idea of a puzzle is, let's say east, but we mean west, and that'll be the magic of Shantae. Well, I have news for you, WayForward. You already made a game with a cute genie girl protagonist who dances to turn into animals. You don't need any more magic in your game. You don't need to be all crazy by flipping directions around and having your NPCs give you misleading hints. You've already won me over with the cute genie girl who turns into monkeys. I actually just went and played Bionic Commando real quick and then came back to Shantae. It only takes about 20 minutes to beat Bionic Commando, so this whole east-west crap is still real fresh in my mind. Right on the other side of this mountain here is where we'll find Watertown, where I'm going to buy my last fighting item, and I'm going to talk to Bolo and see what Bolo says about all this nonsense. And then I'm going to warp to Zombie Town and see what Roddy Tops says about it. And see if Roddy Tops and Bolo are stupid as Sky and Mimic are. This last dungeon, this ice dungeon, it had better be great. it had better be so awesome that it makes me forget about this whole east-west stuff. Like, yeah, I had this period of time early in the game, right after Dribble Fountain, where I thought I couldn't go either direction, and I kind of just spent a lot of videos running in circles, trying to figure out what to do, where to go. That was my bad. That was because I had put a limiter on myself. I forgot to try to use the items I had in my inventory. I was being defeatist. I let the game get the best of me. This was not my fault. I followed the game's directions. I went the direction the game said. I need to talk about something cheerful. Bionic Commando, that's a great game. Y'all, if you haven't played Bionic Commando, first of all, I would definitely play it. I mean, play the original, or you play the Xbox remake. They're both very, very awesome. The reason a lot of people don't like Bionic Commando is because you cannot jump. Your jump button in typical games, Bionic Commando, instead throws out a Bionic Claw, which you use to grapple on things and swing around, and it's really, really great. And you get a rocket launcher, and you destroy Hitler's head. What do you have to say about this east-west thing? You're headed for Mount Pointy, Yeshat's Chili. You know what? That was useless. That was absolutely the most useless hint anybody's ever said, but Sky and Mimic gave me hints that were less than useless because they pointed me the entirely wrong direction. Right now, Bolo is my favorite NPC because he's useless. Useless is better than the other two. Buy a Tiara. Yes. And it's going to count all my gems down. Now, I got the cuff, and that gives you the power-up attack, but you have to power up for a long time. You have to stand perfectly still for a long time to get it to work. Yes, I'm done shopping. Let me out of here. Okay, so here's the regular power-up attack. Let me see if I can't charge it while I'm moving. I've got to be standing still to charge it. And it takes a long time. See that? How does it work? I didn't really pay attention to what it said. Attack during an elbow dash for a powerful twirl attack. Attack during an attack for an attack. No, let me out of here. Shantae fails at stores. Okay. Calm down, Brick Road. It's just a game. It's not like you got your arm caught in a thresher or something. It's not like you accidentally backed over your dog. Just a silly game. Silly, silly, silly game. I'm trying to think of other examples of egregious misleading hints in video games, and honestly I can't think of one other than like this, and Castlevania 2 is like it. Okay, here's the charge-up attack. There's the twirling. Wow. That looks dangerous. How is that ever going to be useful when it takes that long to charge? Okay. Down, up, right, BA, and go to Sky Stupid Town. Down, up, right, Y, B. Go to Stupid Skyville here. Now I'm going to save the game, and I don't think I'll end the video. I've still got about a minute left, so I'll see how far I can make it over there before I've got to call this one quits. And the next video will be at a point where I'll be able to see what was it I missed in Pointy Mountain coming from the opposite direction. So, alright, I think we are back on track. We had that little hiccup where east equals west and whatever. You know, I'm over it. It's so in the past. The past is behind me. And I'm ready to forgive Shantae and go to the next dungeon and get my next form, which is probably the Flying Harpy. And I'm sure once I'm able to fly, I didn't want to use that thing. I want to save those for the birdmen with the swords. But once I've got my flying attack, my flying form, you know I'll be in a good mood then, because if there's anything you can do in a video game to put the player in a good mood, let him fly. Seriously. So you've played RPGs before, and they were like 55 hours long, and you were all bored, and then, oh yeah, airship! This game rules now. Every RPG ever does that. It's 50 hours of you being bored, and unskippable story, and really hard boss fights, and long dungeons, and then, boom, airship, and you're like, I'm so there. Right here's a good stopping place. We're going to pick it up in the hideous, what is this, like an oil field? I don't know. It's got giant bugs. And we're going to head west. West, guys. On Let's Play Shantae. See you there.